All right, today we're building a roll cage and I'm just gonna get straight to it. I'm in a hurry, let's get started. If you know, you know, but I've got like a few days left to finish this Jeep, and that's not a lie. And when I pulled the carpet out, I was a little shocked, and I probably knew that was coming, but anyway, let's go forward. Other side, not much better. So I went ahead and did some remodeling on the dash here. We're gonna try to get some nice hoops in here. This is a giveaway Jeep, so it's got a little ways to go before it becomes nice. So don't worry about that, you just worry about it when it's ready to give away. If you don't know, this is a $5,000 or cheaper build, so I'm not allowed to put money into it. I went and found some. Both of them are actually passenger seats, and if you didn't know, a passenger is kind of offset for the tunnel, so I'm not 100% sure I can make this seat work, but I've got two of those. The driver ones all are just busted down right here, so the passengers don't get used as much, so they're in much better condition. And for $12 we might make them look a little better. We'll get to that later. So the plan, you see I really don't have much frame here, and that's fine. We're gonna get past it. Let's just keep on going. Right here on the Cherokee, this seems to be real solid. That's important to mount the cage to. What I'm planning on doing is putting like basically a frame rail that runs across here with some spacers welded about every 8 to 10 inches, give or take, with some spacers. It's like some little flat pieces, so the tube will actually be spaced out here. This little thing where the seat usually mounts is not participating, so we are gonna get rid of it on both sides, and then we can run our tube across here, and then we can start building off there. The hardest thing, building a cage, getting started, every time. But I'm gonna get those bars run down through there, and I think once I start, I wanna do one bend, which is a weird bend because you gotta go up and you gotta bend back, but you gotta twist it to match the roof, and then same thing up here. So I'm gonna start with those since they're the hardest, and then that way if I have to cut them, I've got scraps for the next pieces, because that'll be what, 4 foot and then back to probably here, so that'll be an 8-foot piece that might have to get scrapped. And what I'm gonna do is come straight back, and obviously I can't make this in one piece, I'm not that good, but I think for here, so we want to tuck it up nice and neat, I'm gonna do like a U shape, come around here in one bend, do like a U, a big wide U, and then figure out where they meet. In my head, I've got this plan. Since I'm not a professional welder, I'm gonna cut them on 45, so you got more surface to weld instead of just a straight butt joint. And then my bender I'll be using, this is a brand new die, never been used. We are using 1.5 on this one instead of, most you typical people are using 1 3/4. I don't know how they become the industry standard, but my brother's Jeep has 1.5 in it. He's rolled it so many times and it's held up great. And we just found out that he didn't even have about 70% of it welded, and it's still holding together. So I'm ready to get started. I got another video planned on how you would build a cage at home. This video just gonna be more entertainment, I guess is the word we'll use. So I got some work to do. Got my plasma cutter set up out there. Shop's a mess, but like I said, I've got 3 days to finish this, and it may or may not need a motor. First thing I'm gonna do is measure these side pieces, get some of them cut, and then I'm gonna go cut some flat pieces and see if I can get those mocked up. And then we're gonna cut us a short piece and bend it, and I'll show you how I measure to do like bends and stuff like that. And if you're wondering how the Jeep got like that, I got some scenes earlier. If you followed this series, you know why I was so frustrated with the motor. Yeah, if you know, you know, but right now let's watch me get this Jeep tore down. Alright, had a little trouble with some welder, but got them there. They're just like some little side hoops. I mean, I think you can understand. And I got that one tagged, but I got thinking I'm gonna knock it back off because the next bar, like I said, is gonna be the hardest one. So I don't know where it's gonna end here, so I'll make it too long. Luckily I can go through my floor, and then I can mark it where this should be, and I can actually hold this up, bring this to it, and we should have a really good fit. So hoping I can get this one right. Cherokee looks to be easier than the Grand Cherokees we've been building. I ain't gonna be too specific, I just kind of show you what I'm doing. Is roughly, you know, this is parallel with the ground. So by the time you make this one and this one, you're gonna be going straight down. So what is that? That means you're going from 0 to 90 degrees. Luckily, Cherokee's about as easy as it gets. Stick it up there, 45. So that means I'm bending two 45s, okay? So now we gotta know, this is how I build cages. Now I'm sure there's thousands of ways of everybody builds cages, but we need to know the distance between these two bends, okay? So if you've never bent it, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but you can't just bend it to random places and stick it up there. You may have to bend up here, then a bend way down there. So what we're gonna do is get a, well, I've got some over there, but we're not using 1 3/4, so I gotta make me some new ones. But we know we're going 45, so let's go cut us a piece just long enough to use to get in the bender to show some angles. Thinking about 16 should do, so we'll go with 18 just to be safe. This one little wasted piece will save you tons in a long time. Let's go practice some bending. Alright, I apologize about the fan. It's still warm even though it's September. So right now we're trying to figure out if we stick a piece of tubing in there, where it's gonna bend, where to start our bend. So the weird as this machine is, like you stick it in and you think you're bending here, but you're actually putting the bend on the back side. So it's kind of confusing. We'll say that later on. But I'm gonna put just a one little dot right there, because that should be enough, and it's gonna take this and pull it around. What I'm gonna do is take this out, put us a mark we ain't gonna forget. And we'll write bend side. I can read my handwriting, y'all might not can. So now we know that we started our bend right at that mark. So we'll line it up there. Now we'll bend it 45 degrees. I like and don't like this form of measuring angles here. Let's put some pressure on it. There we go. It's pretty close. Alright, let's go 45. You can see this piece is going to stay straight, and it's going to build the bend back here on its back side. We'll go about 47 degrees for kickback purposes. Yep, actually we'll go 48. Alright, now let me get this piece out of there. I'll show you what we're doing. There we go. Alright, so now we've got our piece that mocks our 45 degree angle. Let's check. Let's see. Yeah, that's going to be pretty doggone close. Obviously we'll start less. Yeah, that looks like it's going to need about a 42. But what we know now is when we stick this up here, that's where we want it. So right now, that's where we want our bend to start. Now, come down here. I think I still have to do just a piece of trimming right here. I'll trim off camera, but now you can see that this would stick about right there. So, tell you what, let me trim that first. Can't find my trimmer anywhere. Alright, I trimmed that bracket down. Now you can see, let's see, make sure, let's shut the door. Oh yeah, we got plenty of room. So we'll find our sweet spot and then we'll mark it right there. And now we can measure the distance from here to know when I do make these bends, the distance that it should be between them. So it should be a perfect fit. And then like I said, I'll usually bend them about 40 and then just keep squeezing them in until I like where it's at. So I'm gonna get that knocked out and then I'll pick y'all up. So I just measured out 8 foot of it. It should make it to about the C pillar, give or take, somewhere in there. But we're gonna be buttoning up the other piece, and I figured the other piece would be easier to make longer to cut off short. So I got marked there. I just guesstimated 30 inches from the floor is where the first one needs to start, and I got it wrong. I got it wrong. Look at there. It's exactly what I said. You're measuring the distance between, see that mark and this mark? So you need to put the bend out here, and this is where I get it wrong every time. So this would have been putting the bend on the inside of where it needs to be. The bend needs to be from here to give or take right there. So yeah, I'm gonna slide it this way, do that one, put the bend out here, and then put the bend out here. We'll have 17 between there. But there's a kicker. I don't want to shut the hood, but you have to put a little twist on it to get it to fit right. You'll see, if you just went straight, see how the roof comes, you know, it'd be coming straight at you, and then it's gonna turn that way and go down and then twist at a weird angle. So it's very tricky. I've got lucky on some of them. Hopefully this one I get lucky on too. So it doesn't matter which one you do first as far as the twisting. We'll just start. This is going to be the upper pillar, the roof. Now we're going to go about 40, 42 degrees, give or take. Probably go 42. Well, we know we need to be up there, so then it's putting the bend on the outside. I need the bend on the outside of that one. So yes, we're good to go. I'm supposed to use oil. That's 43. 3 should kick back. It didn't kick back. That's a little tight. Stuff after COVID just ain't got good tolerances. Alright, I'm gonna get this out of there and I'll reset. Pick up my hammer, and then I'll try to show you what I do. And it's weird because you may get it backwards, but the plus side, if you get it backwards, you can just use it on the driver's side or the passenger side, whichever one it fits. I think I remember right. 1 second. Let's see, if you look at the pillar, it's gonna go straight down yonder way, and it's gonna turn. I haven't showed this scene, hadn't I? I've been busy, and it's gonna go down and turn. So just a little tricky to get it right. Well, I'll show you what I do. So normally if you want 2 bends to match, of course I got it on my mark, we're gonna put the bend on the proper side. We're at bottom. Normally if you wanted to phase 2 bends together, you would level it. So you get a level, and you would turn this up. In there, I'm gonna have to adjust them. It's tight. I know. It's supposed to be easy. Alright, I'll be back. Hard to find good help nowadays. So, like I was saying, you usually use a level instead of this tool. You want it that way. And this gets me confused every time. I think it doesn't matter because I'll use it on the other side, but I think the passenger side you go down. On the WJ it's about 12 degrees and a ZJ, but Cherokee I'm looking at it looks like I'm gonna go about 10. So ain't there yet. 8. Out there. 10 degrees. So we'll leave it there. Hopefully it's right. And then we'll put 40-something degrees in it. Make sure we're on our mark. 17 inches between it. This is why I do these earliest. Like I said, if you screw them up, you can use them in anywhere else. You can just screw them up. There wasn't no way to adjust these. Stop that one at 42 on the dot. Alright, let me get set up. We'll go see how it fits. I mean, it shouldn't fit perfect. It should just fit close. And we'll probably have to put more bend in these 2 or 3 times. Usually. Unless you're better than me. Yes, I think I got it right. Probably easier to get all your crap out of the way. Alright, so yeah, the passenger side goes down. Now, I don't guess it matters which one you're bending, because I don't remember what I bent last time. Oh, come on, man. Ah. There we go. Dude, that's like I've done this before. Yo. We're close. Something this thing G-hauling just perfect. What's going on? $10 degrees may have been too much, honestly. We're very close. I think we need to pull that one up and that one up. So we'll add 2 degrees in both of them and we'll come back and see how she fits. 8 or 9 degrees down instead of 10 may have been the better option. Alright, get up in there, pipe. Right, about 2 degrees on both of them, I believe. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, man. Dude! I don't know if it can get much better than that. It literally is freaking perfect. It's kind of weird. I've never noticed that a Cherokee roof is not straight. Because it's fitting good here, and the roof actually takes a bow. So I'm going to have to put like 1 degree right there. Well, I don't have to, but I'm going to. Yeah, dude, that fits freaking good. Hot dog. Alright, well, I'm gonna get the other side knocked out, and then we'll get them up there. I gotta get my porta power out. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this side built, and then I'm gonna get this side built, and I'm gonna get them stuck up there. Then I'm gonna build that back U piece, get it all mocked up. That way I can tack it. I can hopefully take the crap handles off, drop it down, fully weld it, push it back up. This is the headliner for life if you're in the Jeep. And everything else I do from there will be like pillars, so you can get basically a full good weld right here. Hope so. I've never done it this exact way. The other way I do it is like crazy safe, so. But it should be good. When I get done with the whole cage, you'll understand my concept. Unless this Cherokee totally fell apart, hell, you're still safe because you're in the cage. So yeah, I'm gonna go to work. I'll be back in a minute. That fits good. Like, especially from the driver's seat, the way that is, I could probably put 1 degree right there. But from the driver's head, you cannot see that. So that's like my goal. That side's a little different, but yeah, fix your vision. Dang. All right, I've been back good spirits again. Look at that. It sits there itself. time lapses, so don't listen to Nickelback. But check this out. It's literally fits so good that it hangs on the handles. It fits that good. This is starting to come together freaking awesome. The Jeep's gonna be so legit if you're following the series, sorry. The roll cage is gonna be nice. Kinda wish I'd picked a nicer Jeep. There's no way I'm getting this done, but I'm gonna try. If you know, you know. So I left you a little long on the time lapse. I'm slightly rushed trying to get this done, but I was just gonna do such a simple cage, but as crazy as it seems, I'm just not good at half doing things. Especially a roll cage for a vehicle you're gonna give away. Alrighty, so my hoop back here come out literally perfect. And then I got a secret I hadn't done at my joint yet. It's pretty cool. I cut them on 45s and I took vice grips and I cut it too long, you know, like cage, you want to like tense it in there. And I took the vice grips and squeezed the 45s together, if you can see right there. So when they started, you know, it was like over here, and when I started squeezing them, I actually got them lined up. So got that. I'm gonna do a little extra bracing, but these look amazing. I ain't gonna lie. And then, let's see. I've left y'all on time lapse so long, I can't remember where I left you. This one's pretty good. I wish I'd honestly brought it back in the straight part right here instead of dropping it down, but it'd do the job. And then I'm trying to leave as much headroom as possible so you don't bang your head on the cage. Got some more gussets I'm gonna add in, and I just got the seat that I'm gonna throw away in here in case I get weld splatter. But got some a 12-inch gusset to go from here to back in this area. I got a small one for here, and we're gonna get to the rust. Don't worry about that. Just trying to get started. And if you can see, this worked out flawlessly. I wound up putting a little curved bend, so we got a really good bend there. Got a mess. So let's see what right here. So I'd love to have it like out of sight, out of mind, like your vision, but just truthfully, these are just gonna have to go straight up. So got some plates here, and you can't tell, but I've actually sliced them. So that's how I'm gonna cut it, so I can lay it in there and then push that down, make sure we get pretty good weld. I got 4 of those I got to cut out. Gonna go up there, straight to the bar, and then right here, straight to the bar. This thing's gonna be rock solid. And like I remember telling y'all, this is, I made me a 90-degree piece, and then I made a mark, and then I made a mark, and I made my marks, and this is literally about as good as it can get for working in not a fab shop. I'm not a fab shop. I enjoy it. So where we at? Right here. Obviously I got to finish welding, but I'm gonna cut 6 pieces of this right here and just lay right into there. One up there, one up there, and that'll have that thing rock solid to the body. And I know on the passenger side, I'm gonna be able to catch right in here, so get a little more stability. That side will be different, but I'm gonna catch something. This right here on the Cherokee seems to be pretty stout, minus ripping the doors off. So that is that. And then I've got this piece right here. I'm gonna cut and drill holes, and then we're gonna bolt right here since this is so crusty right there. But one of my plans is we gotta go from here over the tunnel over there, and it'll be give or take in this area. And that way we're gonna be mounting the seat to this actual cage. So by the time it's all said and done, you'll understand, even if this cage broke loose from the Cherokee and tumbled down a hill, it wouldn't matter because you're still inside of the cage, if that makes sense. Like, people just want to go straight down and mount it, and if for some reason the cage ripped off and the floor fell through, or vice versa, you wouldn't be attached to the safety cage. So as long as, the way I'm going to do it is run these bars across, and that way this whole entire cage is a cage, and then you're stuck inside of it, if that makes sense. Kind of confusing, but yeah, looking pretty good. I got a gusset for there. And now the plan is later tonight when I'm not wearing shorts, so I'm gonna grind all these stuff, fully weld them, and obviously this is gonna sit right there, but I can let the whole bottom down, get all my top welds, jack it back up. You know, when I put the B pillar in, it's probably gonna melt the headliner. That's metal, luckily, but there ain't much I can do around that as far as this way I'm gonna do it. So yeah, we'll get the tops welded and raise this back up. It won't ever get a paint job, which sucks unless you brush it on. So yeah, it's coming along. I gotta take a break. I'll be back on it soon. All right, I got a bunch of these gussets cut. All of them are gonna go on this top behalf. So I'm gonna get those cleaned up, welded up there, drop this thing down. I'm gonna give me some nice sleeves, get some tunes blasting, weld this thing, get it stuck back up there. We'll have to cool before it don't melt the roof. And we can start on the bottom stuff. Hopefully my brother may come help, so I'm gonna weld this stuff while I got the welder occupied, get it up, and then I'm gonna get everything tacked as far as like those braces and stuff. So like this stuff here, if he shows up, he can help. If not, I'm trying to stay busy on the things that I need to be doing as far as me building a roll cage. So I'm gonna go to work. I'll see y'all soon. My employee has successfully caught the Jeep on fire. What's burning? There seems to be like transmission fluid or something in this frame rail. Yeah, I leaked all the transmission fluid when I flipped it over. Just keep letting it burn. Alright, last night my brother did show up. He did all my welding and all my cutting, so I got 4 tabs there. It's pretty neat. I cut them and then bent these little tabs down to make sure you get a full weld. So we got those 2. I've already got these bars cut, and what sucks about those is I took this little piece off right there, but I was trying to think of the perfect angle, but the back seat folds up to essentially right there, so your head is in this area. Just imagine it. And I was like, if you do anything to counter this, and you're gonna hit your head on that, and that's never good. So even though it's gonna look weird, we're actually gonna take them and angle them back, and that'll kind of give these two bars some triangulation, just kind of help stuff. And what else did I do? It's kind of cool. I don't know if you caught it in time lapse, but no, it's a little dark. That's my joint. I was scared of my welds, so I actually made these little grab handles. It's kind of cool. They feel good, and they actually strengthen my welds, I guess is the thing I use. And it does suck now looking at it. I wish I'd have went from here to corner, but I mean, all I'm really worried about is this area up here. And even just a simple cage like this with no X in it still holds up. So we're not deathly concerned about back here. And even if you was strapped in here, you'd be fine. Because, I mean, any cage over no cage is a better cage. So I don't know if he's going to show up or not. I'm going to leave those there. That's pretty simple, busy work. We're just going to attach those wherever they fit. I've already got them notched on an angle and everything's ready to weld. Just got to get this stuff up there. If you know about a Jeep, you know about that. Then up here, other side, I've got it. On this side, I've already got pretty far last night. I think I'm going to wound up welding to the seat belt right there because these bolts ain't coming out. But I've got me a bar right here for my seat. And then I didn't cut it last night, but that's the frame. Look under. Can y'all see? See the bolts to the frame. Since it's rusty, we're going to do some bolts. And then I'm going to put me a short little piece right there. I'm going to weld that. I know it's probably useless. And then right here, the piece that I originally used for, well, that back there, I'm going to cut it. And it's going to make an arch over. And that'll be our back seat mounting. And then I've got to work on a front. So cool. They have these little rubber plugs here. It rusted out and they just simply fell into the frame. So frame's actually still good. It's just the floor pans rust out. I think it's because they use 2 plies and they get in between there. But regardless, I don't know if that'll get fixed on this video. But and then yeah, he's got these welded in. I can't forget that weld right there. I forgot that. And I don't know if I'm gonna have time to brace in right there. But we got to worry about a front bar for the seats come across there. And I got to work on that bar. And then I think this, oh, we got to do the one main bar, but we're going to get the seats mounted, figure out where that bar should be, and we got to go across the back for the harness bar. So, definitely making progress. It's just busy work. I'm going to give up on this time-lapse camera. I feel like everything's so slow, you can't tell what's going on. So I'm going to go to work, see if I can get this knocked out. It is Sunday morning, so getting there. Got 3 more days to finish it. All right, the crossover bar come out pretty good, but I got it a little too close. You can see this fell off there. I've got everything tacked up except that, but that looks pretty daggum good right there. Got to bolt these. Like I said, still got to weld everything. I'm gonna put a tab from there to there just to secure it to the body a little better. And it needed to scoot back, but I was trying to keep this thing a 4-seater. So I made a mistake and I didn't feel like redoing everything. So mounting the seat's gonna be a little tricky, but I think we're getting it done. And remember, these are passenger seats, so I gotta feel like you could pick these things up for literally nothing, because I've got a field full of them that are worth nothing because the driver's seat's the one that goes bad. So if you didn't know, the tunnel in there is takes up some room. So this is a passenger seat. See how it's beveled like that? Normally that bevel would be on this side. So what I've had to do is cut all this stuff out of here. And I don't really prefer mountain seats like this, but it does work. It is strong enough. It's just a little heavy and kind of just cheating, if you ask me. But I've took the frames off, used those as a template. Now I've got some, what is that, 3/8 by, or maybe 5/16. Actually, it says it on there. 1 3/4, well, anyway, it don't matter. Maybe 5/16. And I've welded studs going up, so you can just sit the seat down, reach through here, tighten nuts. That'll be easy. I used to do bolt and nut, and man, it was so tricky. So got them welded, and I sliced this, and I bent them forward. And I can't really show you, I'll just have to tell you what I'm doing, but it's gonna sit on them blocks of wood right there, and we're gonna spice it up right there and weld it. Should be good, and then we'll space the front up, and then I'll build my front tower across there. So, not the most ideal way I wanted to do it, but it actually sits lower than a factory seat, and I think I'm gonna have it scooted back just a pinch. So Obviously I'm building it for me, but if we're doing a giveaway, I don't know if you're gonna be 6'5" or 4'8". If we cross that bridge, we'll do something different. But we're getting it knocked out. Get the seats mounted. We'll get this one bar going up to here. We'll do one bar across for the harnesses. And that's getting the cage wrapped up. It's gonna be pretty nice. I always start these projects and I'm like, let's just do a simple 4-post and just move on. I can't do it. It is gonna be a little tricky. We're gonna come across here, and what sucks is the rust. So we're probably not even gonna worry about stubbing it into that for now. I just gotta make this beast wash thing, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna try to build me a bar to come across here, connect into that one. When I get back, we're gonna build a floor pan to make sure the rust is not a factor for anybody down the road. Back's actually pretty good. And that's what, if anybody's ever wondering about these seats, like, that was a tiny bolt, it's already broke. This was literally rippable out by hand, and this is what your seat belt and seat mounts to. And I can probably move that by hand. I am going to try to build a tab come in there just to connect everything to one piece. Go back to work, get me some tunes rolling. See what we got going on. No idea. What is that? Turn your volume down. Get some pumped up grinder music going. We'll mount the seat, see what it looks like. Alright, once again I apologize about the fan. It is warm. Making headway. So, I'm trying to remember the last scene I left y'all out on. We've got these things. Justin did forget to weld that one. Remember that cross piece I had? It was supposed to be like dead straight, and the way it is, I got lucky. I beat the floor in and laid it back, so that's still fine. And I don't think I've done the seat mounts. God, mounting a seat has got to be the most difficult thing out there. But I got pretty lucky. Looks like this one scooted a pinch back, which is going to be okay, but I may have something for the steering wheel, not in this video. But you can see right here, I got a piece, went straight across there. And then I've got this and that did a pretty sweet bend. I wound up cutting that out and actually going to weld that in there, so that'll semi-attach to the body. It's not a real big deal. I mean, you could weld to here, but it's going to be fine. I don't know. I may try to do those welds. I told you I was. And then I wound up doing these two differently, just the way it worked out. But I'm going to cut these off, round them off, make them look pretty. I think I'm actually going to have time, probably won't video it, I might, is building some floor pans. I didn't think I was going to get to it, but I might. Still got to mount. Well, no, crap. So now that the seats are in, I can figure out where this tube's gonna come up, and it might actually end up butting right into there, or at least in that area. And if we get it, we can go across with our harness bar. I think I gotta lean that seat up, get them equal. And then right in here, we started simplifying them. Probably just gonna get some small risers and just go straight back with just a flat panel. Put our switches, and I can put stuff underneath it, and then probably make it an easy access if you need to pull it off. Maybe try to add some cup holders, we'll see. And I want to move the shifter back so when you're harnessed in, you can reach the shifter good. And then we need to do a little detent for reverse. It's not a big deal, but yeah. And then I'm trying to think, if you're following along with this build, I still got wiring to do, but I think I'm gonna get everything done to where it'll crank and run, bare necessities, and then I'm gonna have spare time there at the park. Probably won't have much to do, so I'll probably do some wiring and knick-knack, and I mean just zip tying stuff like this is flopping around, and this thing here, you know, stuff that would survive. But yeah, so I'm gonna get these seats out, get these bars welded in. No, I'm not. I'm gonna build the upper bars, then I'll pick you up. All right, we're getting some progress going on. Got some cheap eBay harnesses, cam lock. Sponsor does not kick in. So now you can see I got me some studs that won't fall out, so you can just sit the seat on, start the nuts. I did say I was going to put something there. I haven't done it yet, so that's on my to-do list. Next, you can see I've added this bar here to keep the factory seats from breaking. If you get in a bad wreck, they'll just fold over or buckle them out or anything. So right there, you'd have to like dang near destroy the seat for it to even break. But got the main B pillar going up now. I am going to try to gusset it at the top Possibly at the bottom. Maybe a small one down there so it don't get in your way of your step 3. Because I mean, if you've ever got in the back of a Cherokee, you know, it's not much room. But this one shouldn't be bad at all. If I'd have scooted it a little bit forward, it'd been even better. But yeah, got some welding to knock out. And I drew a line right here for my seats, but I think I'm gonna put them back in. But I think what I'm gonna end up doing is putting my seat belt tabs off this bar right there, and then maybe off this bar right there for those. Obviously the crotch strap will go down here. And then the upper ones will just loop around that. Should be good to that. And then I have went over these and went down to this bar before. It's just the seat belts hang out when you're trying to get in the back. You're just tripping over them stuff. So this way, just get them tucked up here nice and neat out of the way. But I think I'm gonna do the 2 seat belts there and then come up with 1 bar spread out to a square. Come across here to like a, I guess a console is what we're gonna call it. Hadn't fully designed that in my head yet, but I know I want your switches and your cutoffs and your lights and all that stuff. Like an army, what is that thing? I ain't got one to show you. Like an ammo can. I do have one. Hold on. Like a bigger one of these is what we've been using. I guess you could honestly put pads on it, and you got yourself an armrest, and then you got a waterproof. Gosh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna make that happen. Probably not before the ride, but I'm gonna put that on my to-do list. So I'm gonna get some welding knocked out. It's about quitting time. I'll weld it. It'll be hot in the morning. It'll cool off, and we'll get this thing finished up. Close call. I was shutting down, and this plastic right here was it was burning. You can see a little smoke coming out of the roof there. Whew. Let me turn the radio off. I'll show you around. Alright, I don't think I've actually done much, y'all. I think I just finished welding, honestly. I put a little bracket there. No, it ain't much. I got another little bracket over there. And I like these grab handles so much. I think every cage I build will have these. And I'm trying to decide if that's in the wrong spot, if you're gonna hit your head getting out, but you'll survive. It probably hurt, but yeah, in the morning, I'm gonna cut this stuff off. Probably get the seats back in there. Well, I gotta get some tabs for the seat belts there and there. Probably just loop the crotch strap around there. So yeah, it's about done. Just gotta put it back together. So we'll put it back together in the morning, get these harnesses. Wish I had time to paint it, but I don't. And then I think the only thing left I really want to do, build a little center console right there, put some switches on. We'll be good to go. We'll be good to go. See y'all when that's done. Alright, if you was just here for the roll cage, I just want to fill you in on the roll cage, but the video kind of takes a turn from this point. So we'll just take a tour of the roll cage, and if you want to watch the rest, I obviously appreciate it, but I'm not making you. So wound up, didn't weld those no more, but those was my hooks. So everything, nothing changed there. I think this bar is still the same. The grab handles, they're freaking awesome. So, oh yeah, and I put me some automatic lights right there. So that's that. Let's see, let's turn y'all on 0.5. I know it looks goofy, but nothing changed there. I added this bar, got that coming around there. And got another interior light right here. Pretty neat. And let's see. Don't think there's honestly anything that really changed. I just took a turn in the video. You can see I filed those off there. Got the straps on. This come out awesome. I like the shifter. That's good. I still got to finish this plate there. And then I wound up putting grab handles right here. And I don't know how well this worked. I'm just videoing off the phone, but it's perfect because your head goes right through here. So we use these things the entire trip, but I know the cage turned out perfect. It's eventually gonna be a nice Jeep to give away. So back to the video. Hope you understand what's going on. I'm gonna end up converting this video to the finish of this Jeep because I still ain't done and I gotta leave tomorrow. So just to show my appreciation to this being a giveaway, I'm moving the shifter where you can reach it, and I've actually made a panel and I've put Permatex around there to make sure there's no stuff. Makeshift floorboards, those will get remodeled. Just give me some time. Obviously I gotta work on the dash. And even right here I've got a panel to go over that I'm going to seal off when I lay the camera down. So yeah, we've got harnesses mounted, crotch strapped through the seat. It wraps around this bar pretty nice and easy. And then I've got this little doohickey, and I'm gonna make a Handle goes across here. Hopefully, get some cup holders right there. Get my switches. I'm actually thinking I'm gonna end up wiring it up at the park because I gotta be there 2 days from now. So I'm gonna just be cranking it with a screwdriver, and then I can wire up switches and windows and all that stuff when I get there. So, see you in a second. Alright, so we got a most universal battery that Real King had. Hopefully it lasts the trip. And I originally had it in this general area, but I've kind of weaseled around. I found this spot. So went and got a pick apart, got a junk ZJ mount, and I've got nut welded there so it'll tighten down, go into the frame rail. And then over here, I've got, comes out on the bottom, and I've got a nut and a big shock wall. And then I just hate the battery sitting straight on metal to metal, so I usually get an old floor mat, kind of sandwich it down in there. But honestly, I think if I get it in there, I don't think it can move if it tried. And that'll get some more weight just as far back as possible. So that's it. That wrapped up. I need to finish welding these when I get there, but I know I was gonna need some hooks to strap boxes and coolers and spare tire. It'd be cool if a spare tire fit there, but anyway, I think I'm gonna end up with a spare tire against there. I'm gonna lay the back seats down. Got all the harnesses in. Seems like there's some I gotta wire back here, but maybe not. And then, like I said, I'm gonna wire, and I'm going to end up moving this here, probably to like a cutoff switch, which I need to get before I forget. And then it's just my luck. This stupid shifter won't stay on there. It keeps popping up, and I can't get that Dumaflachi to work. So got it hose clamped on. I forgot I still got to build my second gear, so I got control because this transmission, if you follow it along, doesn't shift great. It kind of drags its gears out. Got all the BCM, or not BCM, sorry, I'm lagging. Got to get all that zip tied up. I mean, I'd like to throw the dash back on, but it's going to drive the same regardless without it. Got grab handles, I do have those. I'm sorry about this video, I really am. I'm just out of time, but I know somebody's following along and don't want to get left out of any step. So I've got full of water. I'm going to crank it up, make sure the alternator's not charging once again, and then I'm going to turn it back off. I'm going to change the alternator again. That'll be the third alternator. And then after that, I'm gonna let it run, see if the thermostat, I didn't change the thermostat. I actually went to a 195 because it said USA on it. So I got my fingers crossed. That's all it literally can be. If it was full of coolant, brand new radiator, which I mean, I assume it's good. Unless there's something in these hoses keeping it from flowing, but I've only seen that one time. There's a rag in the radiator hose, but we'll check it. Let me fire it up, see what happens. Well, I lied, I need a battery to crank it up, so let me get the battery installed. That's my new ground right there. Alright, I got the battery mounted. I don't even need a ground strap. I can just push the battery forward, right, strap it and ground it that way, but got that. I'm still gonna run a hot wire up there to a switch panel that does not exist yet, but this freaking Jeep is possessed. Crank it up, boils the water over. Thermostat finally opens. Seems to be doing fine now. Got fans blowing hot air, which means it's circulating, which means everything's working. Don't even need electric fan. I don't think I got enough fans for this. Anyway, started out charging just fine. I took the test light on. It's going down like a tenth, 99, 98, 97, 96. So the alternator is no longer working. Sounds like it just kicked in, honestly. Sounds like it just kicked in, honestly. Back in. There, it just keep back out. Now, not charging. Oh, they just keep back in right there too. I can hear it. I wonder if I have connection here. You see the sticker thing with clamp on. I don't know why they don't make one clamp on. I don't know what y'all are seeing. I just got tired of holding the camera, so let my ground go. Yeah, so 14. I need one that clamps on here. So it's charging. It's just a tough call. You're changing now. It's charging. I would like to know the issue before I leave out of here and strike out that wind rock. Alright, it's charging. Let's take it for a stroll. Alright, feels weird with some floor pans. Probably gonna get some junky floor mats, see if I can reduce some EGTs in here. But I got everything sealed off when I finish the floors, and I'm worried about that crack, what y'all are seeing as daylight. I've got low oil pressure. I might change the oil filter later. If you remember, this motor was very dirty. It's crazy. Hey, I like this high-rise shifter. It's about 3 inches higher. What was that? Just a little surge. I think the alternator's just straight up weak. Wait a second, we're not. There we go. I had to adjust that when I get there, but we're moving. Need a windshield. See, it does shift. It's just terribly late. And this muffler is terribly loud. Alright, I'm gonna ride around a while, see if we can get some reliability out of this thing. I hope. I don't understand this thing. It ain't running hot. I don't know if you can see. It's about 215. There's no reason for this thing, unless that, if you remember, the head on it's been shaved 70 thousandths, unless that's making it high compression and run hot, but I don't think so. Everything else, I don't understand why it's running hot. I can't go to Windrock with a chance of it running hot, just riding around doing nothing. I'm just gonna keep riding around and see what it does, but that's so weird. I don't understand. Alright, it's getting ready to run away. I don't know if y'all can tell. I got this thing out, and I think we're on the time. This one should be, it's got a little over now, but you can feel the air. This is cold air. So that means it is not circulating the air, or the water, to cool the engine off. So we may have something stopped up somewhere. Now what it is, or yeah, let me turn it off. Hear the high idle. Let's see what it does on start, just for craps and giggles. It's warm. Yeah, now it's 260. Let's go fill the radiator. Might be better off just changing motors, honestly. So, that's hot. Why is it blowing cold air? Where's that thing? 123, which I don't believe. 170, so what the heck? 150, so it's doing its job. It's just not flowing air, which is very confusing. 100 degrees. Motor, 207, 220. That was a tricky one. Let's crank it up, douse the radiator with water. If it doesn't cool it, then it's not circulating the water, or the engine's bad. Golly, this is getting frustrating. On the flip side, I don't think the thing leaks a drop of oil, which is insane. All right, let me get a water hose. All right, we're gonna try to cool the radiator off. Steaming, I mean, that means it's warm. May have changed motors. The motor's sizzling hot. It's boiling water, so it's actually warm. lower block doesn't seem to be that hot. I think that's all garbage if you want to garbage. I mean, a radiator itself just could be bad, but I don't think so. It's easier to change than the motor. If I know anything cool. Alright, I got her chilled off. I don't remember the last scene, but all I know to do is change the motor. I could put a head on there and gamble on it, but I think I'm rather just more content just to swap a motor out. If you don't, I know I probably said it 10 times, but if you didn't know, that head has been shaved 70 thousandths too much. And I know it don't sound like a lot, but take a spark plug gapper, go look at one of those. And you know, typically they're going to shave less than you can even read. That's 20 thousandths. So they have literally shaved where my thumb is 70 thousandths. So I'm no expert in motor building, but I think the way me and Justin are thinking, that makes them just typically run warm, which is what this one's doing. It runs fine, it just generates heat. So I don't know. I'm just going to hush. If you got any advice, appreciate it. Only thing I'm going to do, just to make sure it's gonna make a mess of my floor, is when you crank it up to see if the water pump's working, take this hose off. It's the one making the loop. And I know somebody's probably gonna see the kinked hose right there. All my rigs, usually I block this off and then put a pipe thread in the water pump. So that's fine. I know it looks wrong, but I'm gonna take this off, crank it up, see if we're pumping water out. If it's pumping water out, I got a motor that some of you have probably known about. It's been a long time ago. It was I think a rollover. It had busted pistons. Actually, the pistons all were wrist pin issues. It was weird. The tips of the skirts was broke off, like it hydro locked. And then the piston wrist pins was actually making the noise. So, of course, I put new pistons in it. It's got valve cover gasket, head gasket, rear main, if I know me right, and all that. So, and well, I gotta change that water pump. I'm not using that water pump. Something tells me I'm scared of it. Sorry. So yeah, what is it going on? Luckily, going on 6:45 Monday. I'm leaving tomorrow. This is wild. I'm gonna go to work. Well, we're gonna check the water pump. All right, pretty simple. I'm just gonna start it up. Yeah, I can do it right here. currently still cranking it with a screwdriver. Like I said, I was gonna plan on wiring it there. And I can't reach. So if it pumps out, water pump's good. That's weird because it should be pumping more water than that. I think it pulled a vacuum on itself. It should be shooting a stream out. I think that's pretty good. I ain't ever just like completely checked it this way, but if it's spitting water out, yeah. And this thing could be running hot from sediments. Gosh, this is a lot of work. All right, I'm gonna change the motor. Figure it out another day. Don't listen to that song. All right, so I got the old motor out of the Jeep. New motor was out of a ZJ, so we swapped accessories over. Still got to change the water pump. It's going off. So yeah, I'm gonna take that motor now and put that motor back in there. Change the flex plate, all that stuff. I didn't change the intake or the exhaust manifold, so that was a plus. But basically everything over here, yeah, y'all know the drill. Cross your fingers. Tired boss. If you've been following the series, there's one thing that I didn't get to do, and that's the transmission mount. I'll eventually get to it, but I just don't have time. And it's crazy, I did one neutral drop, and the fan kissed the radiator right there. You can see a little smudge mark right there. So I did this time, glad I caught it. I mean, I wish I wasn't swapping a motor, but I'm glad I didn't get in the middle of winter rock and do that right there. So I did scoot this forward. We are going to have to trim around that for the radiator cap, but don't want that thing getting into my radiator. So getting there, about to fire it up. This is crazy. All right, got a few accessories left, but I got the motor in there. This should have oil. Yeah, it's got oil in it, so we're good to go. I ran water in it on the test stand, and it's been sitting, so it's rusty. So I got some soap water in there. Just gonna crank it, run it, and then I'm gonna drain it. I'm gonna go to lunch, come back, and I'll probably flush it out just to make sure we're as clean as possible. I don't really know how to tell it's good until I drive it, but here we go. Should be good. That's why I like testing my stuff before I sell it or whatever. This one was it's a really old video, so it's been a while. Hope we're in park. I'm gonna be watching for oil pressure. This Jeep. Oh, this Jeep. Those grounds are tight. Doors are plugged in. Those grounds are tight. Park neutral switch maybe. I know. About to burn his Jeep. What's gone wrong with the starter? Ah, that's where my alternator's coming from, right there. Remember I said I thought the alternator was that connector. Figure out why that's not connected. Zip tie around it. Alright, maybe now. Maybe. Zip park. Not the greatest oil pressure, but we'll take it. What is this Jeep's curse? Nobody's going to want to win this Jeep. Let me change injectors. Alright, attempt number 2. Got some injectors off of an intake I actually sold yesterday. So if you bought an intake, I got your injectors. Let's try this once more. The more I think about it, this, well, I don't want to say it. Still got a miss, which is strange because I know this motor don't have a miss. We'll give it a chance. Man, it's scary out there. Oil pressure is not good. I knew it, but I didn't know it was going to be this bad. We're at a cold idle. It's not good. So by the time this thing, come on, warms up, that's going to be probably 0. But I may just have to run it. I'll give these injectors a fair chance, but if I gotta more run it, circulate it, flush it, we'll give them a chance to catch up. If not, when I drain it, I'll change them again. Why I put the stuff back on. I'll be back. Believe it or not, I bought these as a joke. You can get them and check the injectors. I just figured out number 6 is not firing. Number 6, so when I turn it back off, I'll change injectors again. I don't even know what to say right now. Oh, goodness gracious. No thermostat yet. If you've ever watched this, when the thermostat opens up, it's just open. It gets hot right here, watch it go away. That's why these funnels are so important. So, it'll usually drain the whole thing. May have to open the thermostat again. There we go. Yep. Alright guys, I'm going to let it run a little while. Then I've got me one injector. I may do it that way. Oil pressure, holy moly. When I drive this thing, it's just gonna go completely missing. What a Jeep. I'm gonna get it right though, don't give up on it. Sometimes. Alright, new injectors, let's try again. Maybe this is the final one. I'm gonna need to carry a lot of Lucas with me. And luckily, I know a guy that did a video on pure Lucas, so I got a lot. Let me finish this thing up. Got the front clip back on, running good. Running good. We don't have no oil pressure. Very little. And I don't think this thing's lying to us. That's a relatively cold idle. So when I start driving this thing, I'm gonna be hearing that dash light going ding. But let me get situated, we'll go for a test drive. It literally has no oil pressure. That's not good. But at this point, I think I'll just go for it. As long as it runs all right and don't run hot. Spacious. And it's raining, so I can't really drive anywhere unless I want to get in the mud. There's a little oil pressure. Probably carry a manual gauge with me, but it ain't good. Alright, I'm gonna cruise around, make sure everything checks out. Oil pressure is still kind of iffy. Or tested for windrock trails. You gotta go the miles. The transmission's backwards. If you floor it, it shifts up. If you ride around slow like I'm doing, it won't shift out. It's still not running cool as I would prefer, but it may survive, so I don't know. So we got no oil pressure. I mean, is it running hot? But there's no reason it should be running that warm. Oh, this Jeep is just one of those. Actually, if I can find it, my business card, the blue Cherokee on there, been years ago. That Jeep, I put 5 motors that come out of running known good Jeeps. And I put 5 motors in there, and they all did this same thing. And I'm sitting here remembering it. It'd get hot, and it'd have no oil pressure, which I knew this motor wouldn't want to have oil pressure, but I think it's more of running hot. But it's crazy. I was looking for my business card pictures, and I Googled my own self. The only 2 pictures on my Google is the pictures of that blue Cherokee, if you see it sitting there. That's pretty wild that it's just sitting there. All right, back to it. I mean, the fan's not home. Hear how high it's idling right now? That's like the high idle tune to speed everything up. So it's running hot for no reason. I mean, the only thing I can think about is the O2 seems to be working. There you go. Is maybe the O2 is throwing it into a lean mode. I don't know. You know what I could do is cut that wire, that temperature sensor wire, and revert it back to -40. Actually, that's not even tight. Let's see what happens. It don't go. Actually, slow down a little. At this point, I'm willing just to send a rod to the side, but I think let me cut it off. Alright, so I didn't get it on camera. I got busy. I was trying to find a high volume oil pump. Yes, I'm about to change. God dang. I ain't trying to be dramatic. This is legit. It has so little oil pressure, I am terrified it was starting to lift or peck at an idle, and we ain't really drove it. But I took this thing and unplugged it, which makes it trip out to -40 degrees, which goes back to, is that in this video? I think. But it makes it think it's -40 outside, so it throws a lot of fuel at it. And I let it sit here and idle, and it brought the temperature back down. So that's worst case scenario. And I think other thing I thought about, that blue Jeep I was speaking of, I think it wound up being O2 sensor. But this one shows good, reads good. I just wonder if it's throwing bad signals at it. So I'm gonna get the oil draining. I got a high volume pump I found actually from the high volume oil pump shootout. So yeah, if I can just get something, and then I'm gonna get another fan clutch and run bolts in the daggum thing, so it's solid mount fans. We got the best cooling possible. So yeah, I'm gonna put it on lift, and I'm gonna put, I think pure antifreeze has a lower boiling point. Let's just go look. So I'm gonna wind up with like pure antifreeze in this stupid mother. Oh, I gotta leave in just a few hours. Oh, let's see. Boilover protection 60% is 270, so percent goes up. So yeah, anyways, I can't do the math, but with 40% is 260, water would be 212. So if we run 60% is 270, so if we run 80%, we should be over 300. So I think it'll survive 300 degrees. Hey, I ain't thought about that. If I just run pure antifreeze, I just let the sun gun run hot. Oh well, this is gonna be a wild adventure. All right, where we be at right now? If you can see, we got some brand new pistons in there. I mean, everything looks decent. Oh, I think if I remember right, this one had main bearing issues, I think. Regardless, it is what it is. I mean, it runs good. As long as it don't sling a rod, I'm fine. But let's see, I'm gonna put this light down. I'll show you if you didn't know. Let's see, we're in millimeters, just roughly, let's see, about 81, 82 millimeters. Is that's not without a gasket. So yeah, 81. And see how they got 3/8 bolts. They already knew they was stretched for time. You can see they use Phillips head that are recessed, and you can see where I've been grinding on it. If I can gain enough room, you can see this one's about 90 millimeters, give or take. So just generally a bigger pump. So put it in there. I'm trying to remember what oil I got. If you remember one video I did pure locust, and let's see, yeah, I got some VR1 2050, so that's what I want. Somewhere up there is a bottle of pure Lucas. I'll probably stop and get some more. What can't hurt? It'll run. So I'm gonna get it put back together. As soon as I got back, well, you can't see and I can't show blood on YouTube, but cut the crap out of my thumb. So just countless things back to back to back going wrong. Oh, and high volume oil pump. I think right along there, I'll be just nicking that with a chisel right where my finger is. So if you're ever for some reason doing what I'm doing, watch out for that. But I'm gonna go back to work. So we got a high volume pump inside the motor. I changed the filters for pretty much no reason. I was using this grease that wasn't engine grease, and turns out it doesn't decompose, so it just like stays in there. I actually found some in the screen, but I actually found some 2050 VR1 that I used to break in my stroker build, and then I topped it off with some more fresh. But at this point, it is what it is. We're gonna fire it up. It's obviously gonna have oil pressure because it's cold, and I got some gear oil in the trailer, and I got a bunch of Lucas. So it's 9:30. I was supposed to leave by 10, so I still gotta load this thing up. Literally, this is coming down to the last straw. And what sucks is, well, not sucks, what is crazy, when I get there, I still gotta finish the harnesses, gotta finish all the wiring. Like, all the harnesses are just laid in the seat. I don't know if you paid attention. So I still got a lot of work to do. I'm gonna put a temperature gauge here, and like I did earlier, I think I'm gonna wind up pulling this one, and I think I'm gonna wind up air temperature sensor it too. I know if you cross the wires out, I don't know if you unplug it, that's why I got my scanner with me, but if you unplug it or cross the wires out, it'll show -40. So if I do this one and the air temperature, maybe I can fool the computer into just reaching the thing up and make it just run cool. I still, to this day, don't know what, that makes no sense. But the blue Jeep I was explaining earlier on my business card, the crazy part, I think it's doing the exact same thing as this one. It was throwing a transmission malfunction, and that's what's wrong with this one. If you floor this one, it shifts up, which is backwards. But I think I'm gonna wind up putting a OBD1 harness on this thing and just ditching the whole CAN bus system. Anyways, I gotta go to work. Screwdriver. This is the last time I talk to you. It's gonna be interesting challenges. I've drove this vehicle about 1/4 of a mile, and I'm fixing to take it to Windrock, which is like, probably gonna put like 100 miles on this thing. Even cold with 2050 and a high volume, we're only at about 42. Not looking good. Alright, if you made it this part of the video, hopefully you've watched the whole series of this Jeep. And if you've noticed, there's quite an issue with it. And at the end of the ride, some point in the video, I'll explain a little more details in it. But keep up with all the symptoms. And I'm gonna have to write them all down because I can't even remember them. But all the crazy symptoms that this Jeep is doing, I figure out. One simple thing. And actually the first video of the bleeping Jeep ride we go to, I'm already back, I've already done it. I'm so behind on editing, that's just me. So if anybody wants to edit videos, holler at me. But I figured out what it is. I'll show you in the front of the video, but at the end of the video, I want to take time to explain what one simple issue caused all this headache. I'm sitting here editing the videos like, you went through a lot of trouble over one thing, which is wild. But hopefully my knowledge shares to everybody else. Anyway, back to the video, it's over. I pulled it in, I backed it out of the shop, I pulled it in the trailer. I didn't even say it in the video. I backed it out of the shop, I pulled it in the trailer, I shut the door, I went to Windrock, and you'll see. Oil pressure was falling before we loaded it in the trailer.